Hi, I'm Janie with the League-Kempner House here in Galveston, and today I'm tackling a project that I did not know I was going to do. These are the, I don't know what you call them, vents that came off the roof. They're decorative, but we had a problem with water blowing through the opening and leaking inside. So we made the decision to take them down, deck over the roof, seal that up, and put them back just as a decorative element. But before we do that, we need to refurbish these guys. And that is where the saga begins. So one of the issues with the quotes on the roof was the cost to do this work. And it was kind of an unknown. The price quoted from all the roofing companies was relatively high. Once we got them down and looked at them, they're not as damaged as I thought. And so the roofing company is working with me to remove the cost of this from the bids they gave us and let me do the refinishing myself to save that money. And that will save us several $1,000s. But it was kind of a long point getting there because we weren't sure of the condition. There is a little bit of potential welding that needs to be done. So one of them's not here. It's gone to a welding shop, and I'll show you that. Okay, my husband is here with me today with the truck. He's unloading some junk that not junk, good stuff that we're bringing down that we don't need, that we can use at the house. Some leftover lumber from a project, some pipe clamps that I need to do some repairs on the door. And then we're going to attempt to load up the metal eyebrow arches that came off the roof and get them down to a welding place that I found to look at. And I'm not sure how that's going to go. They're down here underneath, and they are way bigger and heavier than they looked on the roof. So I'm not sure we can get all three in the truck at the same time. And there's that fourth one that came off that peaked area that's down in the basement I need to get out. But that is our task for today. All right.
You want to go backwards? Or you want to go forward?
I need to go. Well, I need to see if I can even pick it up because they're not hollow inside. They've got this baffling system to catch water. So let's look it up and see. Oh, well, that one doesn't have it in there. Okay, maybe this way to get a handle on it.
You ready?
Ready. Oh wait, no, hold on. Okay. Let's just
Swing to your right.
Okay, wait. Big nail. Okay, well, it's gonna have to be careful. Okay. All right, ready? Go. Okay. Let's slide this one over. It's underneath here.
We're going this way?
Yeah, go that way, yeah. Let's pick it up and see if it's... I'm not grabbing it. Okay, do you think we can get... We have 4 things total. Do you think we can get the other one's inside, but it's in 2 pieces and it's not...
Let's just do one at a time. This one, these 2 are smaller than that.
No, they're all the same.
Are they?
Yeah.
They're smaller.
No, they're the same, I think.
Let's just do 4 trips.
Okay.
Just we can carry it out there, but I don't think we're going to be able to load it and slide it in next to it.
Okay, well, on the next, we'll take it to him and show it to him. And then on the next one, I bet we can get one and the two pieces in there because they're separate pieces. They're not welded yet. Okay, all right. That was easier than I thought. I'm having to voice over because the cicadas are so loud you can't hear anything I was saying. But we dropped the vent off at the metal fabrication place, and I was a little disappointed. This is a local shop on the island. They do a lot of big ship and equipment, welding and repair. But they were very nice and willing to help us try to get these vents repaired at a lower cost. But when they looked at them, they weren't sure they could do them because their equipment is pretty heavy duty, and they were afraid if they put this in the shot blaster, it would just disintegrate because the metal is so thin. So they're going to keep one and look at how the repairs might be done, but they recommended that we just pressure wash these and use paint stripper to clean them up. So we are taking on that job, and my husband had to help me. The pressure washer was way in the back of the basement behind a huge pile of lumber. We had to climb up and over to get it out. It hasn't been used in probably a year or more. So he took some time, got it started, but then the nozzle was seized up and we couldn't use it. Got an idea.
Are we rolling?
Yeah. An idea to get the tip off. I'm trying to twist it. I can look here. I do have safety glasses on because this has to compress back this way.
And that's why you don't do that.
That's why you wear safety glasses.
See it? It's over there on the ground by that pipe. That 90-degree pipe right there.
That one's toast. But I have new ones. I probably can't get open.
I'm pushing pause.
Okay. Start her back up. Let's go drag one of those things out here and see if it works on it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that. Let's do that because you love me. Pressure washing takes time, so while I get started, let me use this opportunity to give a little more detail as to how all this came about. About a third of our roofing bid was for metal work. That includes the gutter, downspouts, chimney caps, and the repair of these vents. The roofing company we went with is local and really wanted to help us out with the restoration of the house. I haven't said their name yet because I usually wait until a job is complete to make sure I can give a fair evaluation of how it went. And as you recall, we had a rocky start because of weather issues, but the quality of the roofing work so far has been excellent, and they have gone out of their way to help us in any way they can. For example, taking out the longer rental on the boom lift so we could get a lot of the painting done. Just having that lift saved us about $8,000 in painting work. One very expensive component of the bids we got were these 4 vents, and at the high end, the estimated cost was over $9,000. There really was no way for me to examine them on the roof. I was not going up there. But once they were down and I could inspect them up close, the damage wasn't as extensive as feared. And just as a reminder for those of you who may not have seen our earlier videos, I actually have a bachelor's and a master's from Texas A&M's Engineering College, and my coursework included hands-on work in metallurgy, sheet metal fabrication, welding, machine shop, all those kinds of things. So this type of repair is something I'm very comfortable doing now that I can see what's really involved. The roofing company was very supportive of letting us take on this task and removing the cost from their bid. And in the end, they deducted almost $6,300 for this work. For this house, that's a lot of money. As you know, we're a nonprofit and we're just getting started, and we have minimal funds while we ramp up our fundraising activities. And we can redirect that $6,300 into other necessary projects that can't be done by myself or volunteers. We also don't have any time constraints because the roof is now watertight for the most part. All of the shingle work has been completed, so we aren't under a time crunch to get the work done. When we finish, the roofers will come back with the lift, pick these things up, put them on the roof, and do all the finishing work in a day to minimize their cost. And that's important for them because I can tell you with certainty that they did not put much, if any, profit in this job. It was bid pretty close to cost. Their willingness to help us with the aggressive bidding has already saved us about $20,000, so we're more than happy to do whatever it takes to minimize their expense in completing the work. I did reach out to the welding company in Galveston because they have all the equipment necessary to do the repair, and if they could do it at a reasonable cost, it made sense to let them. And that's where you saw us taking that first one earlier in the video, and I'll tell you more about what happened in the shop in a later video. So you saw my husband and I go drop that one off at the welding shop. We got the advice from the welder that all the work they do is probably too harsh. The sandblasting or shot blasting that they do is designed for thicker metal. This is relatively thin sheet metal, and they suggested that just paint remover and pressure washing would be better. So we drug one out, tested it with the pressure washer. That was quite the ordeal to get the pressure washer working, as you just saw. But now that I know that works, I'm going to drag them out here. It's a little overcast today, which is nice. I'll probably drag it up there, see if I can get the pressure washer started myself and start blasting all this paint off. The other thing the water blasting will do is leave the zinc coating intact, which that's all galvanized metal is. It's got a thin zinc plating on it that helps prevent rust. But you can see we've got some rust conditions here. Things got beat up on the top. I think people walking on them up there, but that won't show from the ground. The only thing that will show from the ground is the face here. And the face on this one is in near perfect condition. So it just needs to be cleaned up, primed, and painted. And you saw on the work we did on that triangle window. Let's show the shape. We have a very special, very expensive metal primer that's just for galvanized metal, and we have almost a full gallon left of that. So we don't even have to buy anything to do this. So free is a lot better than paying several $1,000s. I need to scrape off all of this old roofing material, clean up these fins. The only part I'm worried about is, will it stay attached to the roof and not blow off in a hurricane? And that all has to do with the stability of these fins, and there are some cracks there, so we might have to do some reinforcement there. But overall, they look to be in pretty good shape. So if I get it cleaned up, it may have to go back to the welding shop and have a little bit of work done on the fin, but I'm going to get them cleaned up and beat out those dents first. So I'm going to get started. I'm rethinking the order in which I want to do things. This is very heavy. It took my husband and I both to get it over here. I think I can drag it up there. Before I do that, I'm going to get out the pressure washer, put the gas in it, and make sure I can get it started before I drag this thing over there. So we did get it started yesterday, but it is out of gas. And unfortunately, if you run it till it's out of gas, sometimes that's a problem for restarting it. So let me run and get my gas and fill it up. I need to wear my Fitbit. It is a little humid. I'm already soaked. Here's my tiny little gas can. It's a little worse for the wear.
Embarrassingly, this is speeded up 400 times. I am not very good with the safety nozzle on the gas can.
And this is a horrible design. Come look at this. So it used to have where you screwed the water right here. And so there was no way to get your hand in there. So I added an extension to give myself a little bit more room. Oh, mosquitoes. They're drinking my blood. It's probably gonna let me get my hose.
Sometimes I think the setup takes more time than the work itself.
All right, fingers crossed. And the other thing I don't like about the design of this, there's nowhere to put your foot to pull on this.
Okay, so now I have to tell a story on myself. I am pulling and pulling and pulling, and you may know from other videos, I've had rotator cuff surgery on both shoulders. I have very sissy weekends. This is just killing me, and Joe wants me to call my young, strong tenant, Victoria, who you have met before, to come start this thing for me, and I just won't give up. Finally, I do give up, but before we call Victoria, I realized I had not turned the on switch into the on position.
All right, go get her. I'm not proud.
Once I turned the switch on, it started right up on the first pull. So after I made a fool of myself, we did get it started, and I got to work pressure washing and cleaning this one up. And then I set about trying to get all that old tar and asphalt and roofing material off of the fins. It adds bulk to it, and we want the new shingles to lay flat on that. It's okay if we don't get everything off, but in some places it was pretty thick and it needed to go, and it was really stuck on there and kind of gross to work with. Joe's enjoying her cooling rag.
Yes.
It's quite stylish.
What?
Quite stylish.
It is.
Quite cool. You're cool.
I'm cool.
After having a break and cooling off, I get back at it. And it is obvious that this is not going to be a quick process. I have 3 of these to do. There's a lot of cleanup. The pressure washing did not get all the paint off. I'm going to have to come back and try paint stripper. Cleaning up these fins is a nightmare. I'm thinking of getting out my heat gun to try to heat this up, but that will just melt some of this tar and make it even grosser to work with. And sticky, so it's just going to be a slow slog through this. I'm not sure why I find it fun. Sometimes I wonder why I couldn't have picked a better hobby than this, but I do enjoy it, and it's nice to see progress even when it's very slow. With all that old roofing material off, you can see an old repair where there's a weld here coming up, split there, and they basically added this kind of fin on the side. So I'm not sure that that matters because this is all going to be covered with roofing material, but we have to make sure is that this original fin and whatever gets nailed down is secure enough not to blow off. So if it's getting covered, I don't care, but that's why I'm trying to expose all this to look. Let's see, there's a split right there. Looks like there's a split down here. This needs to be flipped over and really examined. I flipped this one over, so I wanted to show you. So here's that repair I was talking about. You can see that somebody's cut a piece and tacked on, and it is pretty eaten through here. But again, as long as this stays on the roof and doesn't blow off, but you can see on the back side how it's constructed. So they cut the metal so they could bend it over and follow that curve. Somebody's come in and put a few little pop rivets in, and if a weld won't hold, it may be that we do a few more of those pop rivets. And I wanted to show this one because this is the only one that has, I stepped on a nail, that has the original insides on it. So this piece here, I think if you come this way, you can see, is like a baffle. So if the rain blows in, it hits this and runs down, and this is not welded. There's a gap there so water can run out. So it was designed to stop water from blowing in. Now that is missing from all the other ones, and they've added maybe a taller piece of sheet metal, but it was not functioning on any of the other ones, and we were getting a lot of leaks. So part of the reason I flipped this over is I had the wrong tool. I have a teeny tiny rubber mallet, but this is like auto body work. I think what happened is roofers over time have walked on this and they shouldn't, and so the metal has bent. So I'm going to give it a mighty whack and see if I can pop it back out. We're not going for perfect. We're just going for better. Oh, let me get over here. Yeah, I'll get on this side. Trade places. This one's going to be tough. Let me show you why this one's tough. So if it's just a bulge, it's easy. But look, this one got a crease. It's got a little zigzag crease. So that may not
pop out. And I'm going to start with this end right here. Can't get a good swing with that baffle. Let me see if I can hold that baffle down. Hold on. Let me see if I can hit my leg.
I feel like I should have on safety glasses.
How is it looking over there?
It actually looks pretty good. So we'll come around and see it from.
Okay.
It looks very satisfying.
Well, I'm afraid of, I don't have strong hands and I have to wear a glove and I'm afraid of it sliding. So I would not get on the, kind of like the bowling ball incident. I would not be on that side of me when I'm swinging. And I certainly can't do it left-handed. We all know I can't use my left hand for anything.
We'll come around and see how much better it looks from this side.
But, yeah. I suppose you want to stand on that while I hit this, do you? I think I might call that done. That looks pretty good. And again, this doesn't have to be waterproof anymore. So I'd be a lot more concerned about it if it was going over a hole in the roof like there was before. But it just has to be up there and look pretty. But come look here. See, look, see, this is detached. So that's not going to provide any strength because the nails come through here. That's going to be free hanging. So we'll have to see if the welder can tack weld that or if he thinks it's better to come back and just add some more pop rivets into that. But we got to get it put back together. And then we'll put some pop rivets in here. I need to get these nails out, clean off all that roofing tar. But I'm actually pretty happy with how that looks. There's no rust on the fin itself. It's just this connection. And it actually won't hurt anything if this is rusted out. They may be able to just tack another piece of metal over that and leave that in place. But I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to see if I can flip it back over. I don't have my husband here. Ah! I got it over. I don't know that you can. It's pretty. You can lay the phone down and try.
Okay,
She did it.
She let me help. I got it help.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. I don't let her help with heavy things because she walks around like this all the time because she has a bad back. We call her Quasimodo. But that's less heavy and more awkward. But see how this all popped back out. It's still got those creases, but that's okay. It's up on the roof. None of this is rusted through. I'll get in here and work on the rest and finish stripping and prime it. And start on that one.
What did you say?
She cut me off. She cut me off before I could say ta-da.
So with that, we close out a couple of more productive work days. I'm pretty optimistic about these guys. If we do have to pay for some welding work on them, that will cut into our $6,300 in savings. So I'm going to put on my thinking cap and see what else we might be able to do on our own here to try to save as much as that as we can. But we've made a good start, although it is going to take quite some time, I think, to do this. And in fact, it does get more involved. So be sure and subscribe and turn on your notifications so you can follow along as we continue with the restoration of this incredible house and the work on getting these roof vents back in tip-top shape. We are the League-Kempner House here in Galveston, Texas. We're a nonprofit. We really appreciate your support here on YouTube, and we will see you back next week.